Hello and welcome to the ITV News in London. Tonight, the mum threatening to sue her son's primary school for holding an LGBT day. She's demanding an apology. The school says it has nothing to say sorry for.
I think it's important for our children to be thoughtful, caring members of our society.
We don't celebrate LGBT at all. I'm Christian.
Good evening. The Bible teaches us relationships should be between a man and a woman. Those are the words of one Croydon mum so furious at her son's primary school teaching about LGBT issues, she's threatening to sue. It's raised the question, should schools fear legal action for celebrating diversity? And how much say should parents have in what their kids hear in the classroom? Our correspondent Simon Harris reports.
At Heavers Farm Primary, life lessons are an important part of the curriculum. On a classroom wall, the school's values are boldly displayed. Most parents would probably find little to disagree with. But Izzy Montague was horrified when she found out her 4-year-old son would take part in a school event to coincide with Pride.
The event was celebrating gay pride, LGBT. We don't celebrate LGBT at all. I'm Christian. In the Bible, it teaches us about relationships in terms as a man and a woman. And so anything that goes outside of that goes against what we believe in.
Isn't that homophobic?
No.
Pupils at the school at South Norwood in South London were asked to draw pictures and make banners and posters to illustrate what makes them feel proud, and then join a pride march around the buildings.
The school says it has a different theme each half term. It might be Black history, disability awareness or the environment. In June, it chose Pride and LGBT history.
Do 4-year-olds understand LGBT?
I couldn't possibly answer whether 4-year-olds understand LGBT, but I think what 4-year-olds would understand that they come from their particular family setup that they would come from, and that their friends may have a different family setup, and that was purely the level in which we'd approach it with 4-year-olds, that I may live at home with my mum and you may live at home with your aunt and uncle, or my friend might live at home with their 2 mums. I think it's important for our children to be thoughtful, caring members of our society.
Izzy Montague has moved her son to another school and is now threatening legal action against Heavers Farm. She's backed by the campaign group Christian Concern. What is your objection to children being taught it's okay to be LGBT?
We have a reality here in this situation that a mother was in a school with a child as young as 5.
That's not the question I asked you.
We're dealing with a case here with a mother as young as 5. She was being asked to endorse a lifestyle that she did not agree with.
But at Heavers Farm, they insist LGBT Pride will be back on the school calendar next year. Simon Harris, ITV News, South Norwood.
Well, joining me now to talk more about the issue of LGBT education in schools is Dr. Ellie Barnes, who offers diversity training to teachers, but also goes into schools herself to talk to children. Ellie, thank you for coming to talk to me today. I mean, let's just move away from this specific case. Just tell me a little bit more about what you do when you go into schools and you talk to kids.
Yeah, sure. Well, what we do is we make sure that all schools are adhering to their statutory duties around the inclusion of gender identity and sexual orientation, because there still is a fear around this. So what we try and do is eradicate those fears. And we want to know, and the schools need to know, that there is legal framework around this. So all schools are adhering to the Equality Act 2010.
It's part of the curriculum now.
It's absolutely part of the curriculum, and it runs through not only government policy but all school policies too. So it's a natural part of your inclusion policy, your anti-bullying policy, because no religion condones bullying at all. And following an anti-bullying policy to include homophobia, biphobia and transphobia is absolutely key to making the positive changes within all schools in every kind of setting.
Now, we've heard from the mum in this case. There are other parents, I'm sure, watching tonight who may have similar beliefs and who say, well, I actually don't want my children to be learning about this because it conflicts with my beliefs.
Yeah.
How do we draw that balance then and take their views into account?
Well, what we have to remember is that none of us, as including our young people, are born with prejudice at all. None of our kids are born racist, sexist or homophobic. We have to remember that these are learnt behaviours, and wherever they are learnt from, it's our job as educators to smash all those negative boundaries.
Defence of those parents who might say, they would say, well, I'm not being prejudiced, this is what I believe and this is my belief, and therefore I do not think I am wrong or being prejudiced. So again, how do you deal with that?
Well,
Is
no
there a
equality
balance?
strand on the Equality Act usurps another. There isn't a hierarchy of equality. We celebrate all equalities. You can see there in this wonderful school that they have been celebrating all equalities and do wonderful work, because how else are we going to achieve community cohesion if we don't do that?
And is there a way, looking at the potential for more of these kind of cases coming up, is there a way the schools could work more with parents, maybe to smooth things over, if you like, so both sides are happy?
Yeah, absolutely. The school needs to have no fear around this in the first place, and know that there is a legal framework, and also know that there's organisations, not just us, but many organisations that can come in and help. Now, if you look at our website, educateandcelebrate.org, we have hundreds of resources for teachers, right from children's centres, nurseries, primaries and secondaries, to help you. There is guidance, lesson plans, posters. Books are an essential part of the curriculum, so you're hitting the language and literacy framework right in the centre of the curriculum.
Well, listen, Dr. Ellie Barnes, thank you for coming in to talk to me about this. Lots to debate, of course.
Yes.
And that debate will no doubt rumble on. Thank you very much for joining me. And
Pleasure.
if you want to get involved in that debate, let us know what you think. You can go to our Facebook page, just search for ITV London and leave a comment.